Can't waste a minute, Lord knows. Time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time today.
Time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
With no time to waste.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today. I can't waste a minute, Lord knows. Time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time
I got
today.
time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
With no time to waste.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today. I can't waste a minute, Lord knows. Time today, so I'm in it all. Welcome. I see we already got literally a couple of folks in the chat right now. I see y'all. Good morning, good day. Okay, we got Arkansas in the house already. See, there's something about those cute little puppies that continue to pop up as folks' profile pictures. Shout out to the cute little puppies. Shout out to the pet people out there. Who else we got in the chat today? Hello, how you doing? Valley, nice to see you. Little wavy wave to the people. So look, I'm going to allow for, let's go for 75 to 100 folks to make their way in before we really get started in today's show. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and then I realize that I have to go all the way back and make it make sense. So let's go ahead and get folks into the room, into the chat. Y'all can chop it up amongst one another. Send a little good morning to anybody that you see who has already arrived, or send a little love to our fantastic producer, Avi, who is behind the scenes today. And we'll say an official hello as we get started. So we got 33 folks in the chat right now. God bless. God bless. We see you. We see you. Anamanapia would definitely want to be you. Who's that? Discern the times. That is a beautiful name. That is exactly, hopefully, what we're doing over here, to understand the time that we are currently in. I believe we are in the latter times, in the end of the end times. Morning all from Iowa. Good morning, Iowa. How you doing, Anna? It's nice to see you once again. We appreciate you so much. I see we got folks from all over the map. So, let me know where you're from, where you're hollering from. If you don't mind sharing your location right now, you don't have to dox yourself, but we definitely would appreciate that. When we got Hod bless, I know that's for God, but shout out to the Hod too, the big Hod upstairs. God bless you, brother. God bless you too, Jeff. Let's see. Thank you. There we have discernment in the time. Good morning, Tinashe in chat. Good morning, Texas Mama. I see you don't even have to say where you're from. We see it in the name. Shout out to my folks in Texas. Much love to the dirty South. I have a history in Texas. I got a whole lot of family out in Texas. So shout out to y'all. We got Tallahassee in the house today. Flo Rida. Today's a Florida story, so you're definitely going to enjoy this one. Justice in Florida today, as well as tomorrow. Tomorrow's story actually centers around Florida as well. So shout out to y'all over there in Florida. Oh my good. We got North Carolina. God bless you too, and God bless everybody in the chat right now. We have Austin, Texas in the house. I love to hear. Okay, all the way from the other side of the pond in Romania. How you doing, Anna? Shout out to you in Romania. This is going to be a story that is also quite relevant to your part of the world. We're talking about the Tate boys. Hello from Brazil. See, that's how you got to say. You got to say Brazil. You got to put the little on it, right? So there's a flying ant in the house today, a literal flying ant, and is now crawling on my camera. So I guess he's going to be an in-studio guest today. What we got? Okay, big flex. What we got? Beverly, good morning from Charlotte, North Carolina. Love your podcast. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here today. First time catching you live. Welcome. I'm glad you could be here, and I hope it's not your last time around. And I hope that fly does not make its way onto my lens, because if it does, we're about to have a fly off right now. Shout out to my folks in London, in the UK, my brethren. Let's see. God bless all. Facts over fiction. I see you. New Jersey. What up, New Jersey in the house? Florida. Always got love for Florida. Good morning, Tinashe. Thank you very much. Good morning to yourself. Welcome in. So we got about 85 folks in. We're just gonna give it a little more, and then we'll get right into it because I have been having to contain myself with this specific story here, but everything doesn't have to be reported on day one. Sometimes it's best to let the thing unfold, just like that flying ant that is now flying right in front of me. And okay, move locations to the book next to me. Fantastic. So who knows if that guy makes it into the room or not while we're recording. So shout out to the folks at home. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm gonna give a quick little introduction to our co-hostess with the mostest, our producer, Avi. Avi, are you ready to make it on screen? Booyah.
Hello. Hi. Hey, everyone.
Everybody say hello to Avi. I don't force y'all to do much, but the one thing I'm gonna force you to do is say hello to Avi. Shout out to Avi. We still got good morning. Shalom, Peter. Thank you, Johanna. We've got who else we got in here? And this is Avi making sure that y'all are seen and heard out here. Hello, Avi.
Hey.
Hello, everybody's what's up? What's up? See, they're gonna give you more hellos than they're gonna give me, as it should be. There we see, I love to see it. Africa King. Hello, Avi. Hello. All the love in the world. So we are at 96. We are at go time. So let's get into it, Avi. Let's get into it. Now, oh boy, there is history in this specific subject here. Now, before I even get into the reason why we're sitting here in the first place, aka the latest story to come out about Andrew Tate, or more specifically, both the Tate brothers, it's just one is usually riding the coattail of the other. I have to start with a little bit of personal lore, aka my own personal story. Now, this story has everything to do with hypocrisy, everything to do with the unraveling of true intentions, and everything to do with a broken heart and broken expectations. So, a little more than a year back, I put out a video titled Candace Owens I'm disappointed. And in this video, this was the very first time I had publicly stated my great disappointment, as the title obviously read, in Candace Owens, who I once had a respect for, some may even say a reverence for, as far as what I thought was a brave, young, Black conservative woman who was unafraid to tell her truth as well as the truth. That's what I thought this individual was for years. And it was not until mid to early 2024, creep into the end of 2024, when I started realizing that maybe, just maybe, I had gotten this whole thing wrong. Now, the video was simple. Back then, we didn't have any sort of tertiary names that have now become main names. So we didn't have the Scamdis or the Cuckoo Candace. We didn't have the cult of Candace at this point. That still had not been coined on this side of the algorithm. Instead, it was Candace Owens, who I was simply disappointed in. Now, in this video, I, with the help of a brilliant individual, a fellow content creator within this ecosystem, unapologetic Christian creator, basically did he literally did all the work. He did a great job at exposing the hypocrisy of Candace, where she would, in one vein or in one case, articulate her disdain, her disgust with the system, how she couldn't understand how these evil, nefarious men who were doing some of the most perverted things were being protected. But at the same time, she was unwilling to call out some of the most degenerate individuals. And so, I'll bring up that video right now, not for the sake of watching through this video, but, just to show y'all a little something, something, so we get a little bit of context before we jump into it. So, Avi, if we could just get into that first, I believe it should be on the shared screen right there. It should be on the shared screen. Let me know if that's popping up on your side. This one right here, right? Okay. So I'm gonna bring this up on my side here. And oh boy. So you guys probably recognize his face. What do you mean? That's the guy. Shout out to my guy. What do you mean? Continue to pray for the brother's family. By the way, I heard his wife is going through some complications, so keep that family in prayer. Now, before we get started, you are not late. Shelvia, you are not late. You are on time because you got time today. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this out. It's gonna make me cringe a little bit because when I watch any old videos, it could be like yesterday's video. I'm like, but we're gonna do it regardless. I'm not gonna play this whole thing out, obviously, but just again, give you guys a little bit of frame and context. Content. You must tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you God, even if that means that the people on the other side. Can you hear that, Avi? You know, they may throw stones. And so I'm perfectly fine with that. And this is not an easy video to make, specifically because this is an individual that was, she was a prominent figure during my awakening process, I guess, my coming to consciousness. And for years, she was a voice of influence when it came to understanding what I was in as far as the Democratic plantation and that ideology that I had, been indoctrinated into, breaking free from that, and then figuring out who I truly was, the values that I truly held, et cetera, and realizing, oh, these match up with these conservative values. And so to put Candace Owens on the witness stand today is not an easy one, but everybody can get it, including me. So if there's ever scandals about me, if there's ever any inconsistencies about me, you can gladly put those out. I'm like B Rabbit off of 8 Mile. I'm going to tell them before you can tell me. I'm going to snitch on my damn self before anything. So yeah, I want to get into this video, which I actually got an opportunity to watch most of earlier today. And I thought, damn, I got to get into it because I've been feeling funny about sis. I've been seeing a lot of strange type of messages from her as of late. Y'all have no idea how it feels watching this right now in hindsight. Like, let me check. What was the date on this thing? January 14th, okay, 2025. So that is about a year and a half ago. This irks me, not just because I have to listen myself, but hearing that I was still in a place where I was holding out for Candace to the point where I was still calling her sis. Yikes. So again, I'm gonna go ahead and sort of fast forward into the actual content of it. But again, just to show y'all that, look, this is nothing new. This isn't some sort of unraveling of the time. This has been going on. And unfortunately, for some of us, we've been tracking this for quite a while. And well, no, we got commercials now. Now we're gonna have to blank these guys out. So I'm gonna go ahead and run this commercial all the way out because we don't need to promote any sort of gambling or gaming to our folks today. And then we'll bring y'all right back into the loop. All right.
Kanye West and her involvement in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have left many Christians feeling.
I'm probably going to get through like 50% of this because, again, I'm going to be giving my 2 cents as we move forward, but let's get into it.
In 2021, Candace Owens was celebrated by Christians for boldly standing up against secular ideologies and defending what many saw as core Christian values. But her recent loyalty to figures like Andrew Tate, Kanye West, and her involvement in anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have left many Christians feeling uneasy, even betrayed. The very loyalty that once made her a conservative champion might now be leading her and those who look up to her down a dangerous path. We'll explore how her loyalty has led to her apparent anti-Semitism. But first, if you need evidence for just how bad things have gotten, take a look at this tweet. Just a few months ago, Candace tweeted, "Ban pornography. It's a psychological weapon intended to weaken our men." She followed up by saying that it was created by the most deprived people among us and that we should stigmatize every person who defends or profits from it. Now, most Christians supported this sentiment, believing that she was.
And I want to let y'all know that I stand by. All right. So when I come back in, that's when we get out. So January 14, 2025, this exact story should have been essentially began and ended. Now, we've got a little bit of a troll in our comments right now. I know they're calling out for attention. I know you see it, Avi. You know what? Let the troll, and we're gonna starve them of attention. Right? They're out there defending the damnedest of the scamdest of the mandest of Slowens. And if you're there, then I feel sorry for you. Your mental condition, your spiritual state must be severely deprived if this is the type of person that you're going to continue to stand up for and celebrate, let alone the man in question today, Andrew Tate. Now, as I showed you on that video, that incredible breakdown more than a year ago by What Do You Mean, there was a little bit of hypocrisy coming from the camp of Candace. How can an individual claim to be about conservative values, to care so much about protecting young men from the depravity that was making its way onto their screens, whilst on the other side, continuing to uphold, stand for, and even whitewash the reputation of a guy like Andrew Tate, who openly explained to the world what he was up to. And now all of a sudden, we're supposed to believe that this is some grand conspiracy to take him down, that this is the Matrix after him because of his many Bugattis. That's what we're supposed to buy into. Now, we're going to get into exactly what this man said he was doing behind the scenes the entire time. But before we do, I want to start us off in the most recent unfolding, which is the inevitable arrest. Once again, it's like it happens every 2 months. The inevitable arrest of Andrew and Tristan Tate. Now, can we pause it right there, please? Well, right there. This alone should validate the arrest. What is this? Somebody in the comment section said, is it the fashion police that arrested this man? Because oh my. Now, look, I understand that there is something different in the Miami waters. Miami Beach is a different world in a different world, okay? Avi here is a Florida native. She knows that Florida is its own world, let alone Miami Beach. But what is this? Is this what becomes of you when you spend so much time delving in the depravity? You begin to dress like the women that you associate with. That's wild. wait. Well, sorry. One more time for what you say?
He's looks maxing.
He's a looks maxing. Most of us don't even know what that means. So this dude is a looks. He got his whole entire cleavage out. Somebody said it looked like Miami Vice. Yeah, no, this is a vice for sure. This is a sin to wear something like this. Oh me, oh my. My man's dressed like Ellen. That is a crazy statement. He's just missing the bob cut. That's all that's missing. Yep, Miami Vice. My goodness, what a way to go out. Now, look, the man is obviously in a very serious situation. If you're being arrested in Miami, it means that you are up to something. Okay. It takes a bit for you to actually get the feds on you in the middle of Miami. They're coming after kingpins and all sorts of activities that are taking place in this sort of place. Right. So you would have to be somebody who is more than just in question. Now, before we get into the unraveling of Sir Andrew Tate, according to his own words, I want to give you guys a little bit of a deeper context as to why this is disturbing in a multitude of different sort of angles, right? Not just disturbing as far as the character of this man, and I use the term man very loosely, especially after what we just saw. This is an individual who is willing to do anything in order to silence the people that are calling him out for the very things that he perpetuated, or at least he created a narrative around what he was doing. And then, of course, taking no accountability, which he always accuses women of never doing, right? Oh, women never take accountability. Yeah, but what about when it's your turn, though? I think you might be the king of non-accountability. But before we get there, I think that slot one should be a little bit of a revelation for some folks out there as to who has chosen to associate themselves. Because somebody, in the comments, they're talking about how this is AI slop and how I'm a Zionist shill. That's all I am, right? Trying to make stuff up. So let's go ahead and let people speak for themselves, shall we?
I do also want to, in closing, commend you on something which was so Oh, I do also want to, in closing, commend you on something which was so.
Is it freezing on us? Do we have bots in here? Okay, we might have to reload that video. See, you know what I think happened? I think the scamdilla bots made their way in. But do not fear, because X is here. We are going to play it directly from the source, folks. We're going to play it directly from the source. Hold up 1 second. See, we got time today, so we can do this. All righty. Let's go ahead and share this guy right here. Thank God we live in this day and age, because Lord knows. All right. So we got our shared screen on there. Let me know if that pops up on your side, Av. Okay, excellent. And let me know if you can then hear what I'm about to play out.
Content. I thought it was content. And so I do also want to, in closing, commend you on something which was so crazy. So there was this person who was doing like a bunch of digital content. I thought his content was amazing, got into touch. I mean, figured out this is like a young school kid, like basically essentially like 20 years old, like just turned 20 years old. And I'm like, dude, you're a hustler. Like, where did you learn how to do all of this stuff? Like, I'm going to hire you. I'm like, what school did you go to? Harvard, Columbia? Hustler University. I said, excuse me? What's hustler? I went to Andrew Tate's school and I learned how to do all of these. I mean, this kid is going to make a killing. I mean, I'm telling you, he's going to make an absolute killing. It's around the clock, work.
Yeah.
Comes from the wrong side of the tracks. I figure out, hired him. One of the greatest hires that I've had, like unbelievably. And so that really, to me, also signals a lot, because I talk about what is so wrong with the education system. And then you learn that these kids, this is why they hate you, these kids who just want a freaking opportunity, who will work around the clock, who just want to be able to feed their families someday, who come from the wrong side of the tracks, are jumping into, I genuinely don't even know what Hustler University is, but I know that kid
We'll
is
stop
10
right
times,
there. We're going to
10
stop
times
it
more
right there. We can get out of there. So she brought up the same question that I had. What exactly is Hustler University? You know, because she seems to be somebody who's commending a young man who was trying to get employment from her specifically, which I wouldn't see happening from anybody outside of a psychiatric ward or the waiting room to hell at this point in time, with the damnedest of the scamdest of all Slowens. Hustler University. Yeah, rings a bell. Let's go ahead and check out slot 4. I think slot 4 has a little bit of insight into
I'm trying to
the
get
old
paid.
hustling
Like
university.
I used as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house to make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah, playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far.
I'm sorry, can we pause that
But the
real quick? Hustler University, where you can get a fine education in pimping, where you can get your PhD, pimping O's degree. Let's continue. Let's see what else we got here. We got
majority
time
of my
today.
money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. Way to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason.
Is it freezing on you? Okay, no worries. We can bring it back. Again, we got time today. When it comes to exposing this sort of evil,
basic concepts to the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason.
Okay, it's freezing on. See, here's the thing. We always got double ups. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up.
Is suing me for defamation.
So this brother right here happens to be the very first individual who I happen to have a real life interview with that actually came out. I did one before that, but it never made its way out. I was far too embarrassed. I felt like I did a terrible job. But the second time around, it was a man named Nathan Livingston, who has been a hero within our space. We call him Mr. Milk Bar TV. Now, that man has been solely responsible for agitating the old PIMP in purple himself, aka Andrew Tate. That's what we're gonna call him. Andrew Tate. Milkbar TV is now currently facing a mounting lawsuit for defamation for exposing a man for saying the things that came out of his own mouth. And so we've got that video loaded up with evidence as well. And we're going to see if we can bring the other one up in the back end. I just don't want to play the actual main video because of the amount of vulgarity in it. They will likely look to take this video down, or maybe advertisers will pull. So I don't want something to happen during the live stream. We might just have to chance it, but this is our backup, because you always got to have backups for your backups, especially when you're dealing with this kind of material.
For the past 2 years, I've successfully exposed Andrew Tate, making video compilations from footage he himself recorded.
It just continues to do that on your side. Okay, well, we gotta have to bring the backup for the backup of the backup, which is, folks, again, I pray that you guys do not have kiddos in the room or something of that nature, because this is some of the most grotesque stuff I've ever come across, to the point where I had to mute most of it, but I know that it's necessary and it's urgent. And so we're just going to have to go and play it directly from the source. Again, I pray that this doesn't offend, but these are the words of the individual. I also have it pulled up on my side just in case. So, okay. Yeah, that's perfect, actually. If you could bring that one up, that would be excellent. If you got it on your side, we can do a quick screen share. Now, some folks out there are wondering, what exactly is this man being arrested for? The case has everything to do with everything he has been articulating. The man has been telling us from day one that he has been in a space known as the pimp game, according to him, which is really the trafficking of human beings, and more specifically, those who are not even of legal consenting age. These are not controversies that have come from the Matrix. These are things that have come directly from Andrew's own mouth on a regular basis, unapologetically for years. And individuals like Candace Owens not only said nothing, they did worse than nothing. Not only did they not condemn the man, they looked to whitewash his reputation and to somehow present him as somebody who is maybe a net positive in the world of young men, young boys who are looking to build themselves into somebodies. That's who she presents this man as, who again is not even worthy of the title man. So, Avi, were you able to bring that up on your side? Anything coming up? Okay, solid. So let's go ahead and run that. No sound is coming through on our side. So let's see. Let me see if I can run it on my back end here, because it did pop up for a second. So yeah. Boom, boom. That's one thing I learned being in a world like this. You always have to have a backup for your backup's backup. So I'm going to bring this guy up here. Lord have mercy. Oh, my soul. We're going to have to do it one way or another. Now, in the meantime, we can go ahead and get that theme song going as I bring this up, please, Avi. Shall we? Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay. We got him right here. Booyah and booyah. All righty. So, Mr. Milk Bar himself, we're going to give him the floor once again and let him speak for himself and allow Andrew to do exactly that as well. I think it's only fair.
Andrew Tate
Can you hear
suing
this?
me for defamation. For the
Yes.
past 2
Alright.
Yes.
years, I've successfully exposed Andrew Tate, making video compilations from footage he himself recorded, confessing to the very crimes he's now charged with committing.
Can you look at it from my position, game? Having sex with girls is all good, but how do you get them to do as you say, make you money, obey you, allow you to cheat on them in front of their face and still love you? That's the game. I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money.
Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't pass out.
These videos successfully penetrated
Folks,
the
I
narrative.
need y'all to look. I need y'all to know that these are not AI generated videos. This was long before we had the AI boom. Okay. I'm going to run this exact part back and you tell me how you can flip this one, Candace. How do we re-explain this one? How do we have young men follow suit with this here?
You seriously so
scamness?
offended I strangled you a little bit. You didn't pass out.
These videos successfully penetrated the narrative of lies that Andrew and Tristan Tate had built, that they were innocent, that had been shared by millions and played by some of the most prominent media figures and podcasts.
And Nathan Livingstone, who's kept tabs on this, has put together a lot of these videos that we're using.
Juxtaposed his interview with Tucker with other things that he has said openly on camera.
That's how it goes. Slap, slap, grab, choke, shut up, sex. These are the basic moves of pimp.
Okay. Credit to Milk Bar TV for putting together that montage.
The Tate's entire
Today's Megan Helly would likely find some way to make this okay, by the way. I'm just saying. You know, she had Russell Brand on there telling his story, his truth about being in a situation with a 16-year-old individual. You know, it's crazy. I can't even say the age, but yet those guys can actually do the unthinkable to these young women. I will get marked online for saying the age of the individual who is not in the consenting age, and yet these individuals continue to do it and get away with it, and then cry victim once they get caught up in a situation about it. Let us continue.
defense is they're simply being persecuted by the Matrix for telling the truth. But the truth is, the Tates openly weaponize the legal system and intimidate their critics who speak out against them.
I don't need a reason. You're going to have to defend yourself regardless. That's the thing about the American legal system. You cannot ignore it. I don't care. I will sue you for any and every reason forever. And you're going to have to hire lawyers and turn up forever. I will do that. I'm that guy. I'm petty. So it's not even about guilty. It's not about why. It's just about because I can.
I've not been alone in exposing the Tates, and I'm not the only one included in the lawsuit. Several citizen journalists are also included. Many remain anonymous precisely because of the Tates' history of intimidation, including doxing.
But at first I put his street name, then I put his house number. When he looked out the window and saw the SUV, then he starts apologizing on the internet. Like, oh,
Why would Andrew Tate, who has over 10 million followers and the support of some of the most powerful influencers in the world, see me and citizen journalists who have a tiny following? Why would we be seen as such a threat that he would need to sue us? Because we have what he doesn't, the truth.
Facts.
The truth is so powerful, it's burst his bubble of lies. People now see Andrew Tate for what he is and what he's admitted to being.
I don't give a shit about having sex with beautiful women. I have them so they listen to me, so I can get what I actually want, which is not them. It's a means to an end.
A man who built an empire of human exploitation. A man driven solely by what he can gain for himself, and a net negative in the world.
She's my property, so she's selling my property. Like, you're gonna sell pictures of my.
Again, this is the censored version. I had to cut words out just before we got onto the live, and it's still as disturbing. I mean, obviously not as disturbing as it would be with some of these words in there, but the fact that somebody is saying these things at all, let alone in front of cameras, in public view, to me, it says that how much worse can what they're doing behind the scenes actually be? Like, that's how I look at it. If somebody is willing to be this unhinged and wild in front of us, what are they behind closed doors? He's telling you that he is trafficking these young, he is exploiting them, using them, manipulating them into the world of selling one's body, celebrating it. What are you doing behind closed doors? So I'm supposed to believe that it is some sort of nefarious matrix who's after the truth, and that's the reason why you are currently being arrested again. You see, you had excuses when you were getting arrested in Romania, right? Plenty of excuses. Oh, well, it's corruption there, and they're just after X, Y, and Z. And when I started speaking out politically, now you're in Florida, one of the last hubs of true conservatism in America, and you get arrested again. What's your excuse? Now, I would say that this is justice. These are, they say the chickens come in a roost, is the old saying. But of course, there's going to continue to be people who simp for this filth. Now, we're going to get back to this video before getting back into the deeper dive, because this isn't even close to how disturbing it really gets. But we'll play this one out because, I want to give as much respect and reverence to the man known as Milk Bar TV, aka Nathan Livingston, as possible. He has been doing God's work. And somebody said he has a live stream that he does now. Go and show support to him. Go show love. If this case is still going on, make sure to show financial support if you can. Because, this guy's looking to bury him because he knows it's something worthy of burying.
Property, cool. Where's my money?
But if your girl won't wave her titties at a computer, if that girl won't do it for you to help change both your lives, that's a good test. Get rid of her straight away, because she ain't ever gonna help you do shit.
It's true. Like, oh, morals, oh, blah, blah.
This lawsuit isn't just about silencing us. It's about silencing anyone that speaks out against the Tate brothers. It's about scaring anyone off from calling the Tate brothers out as the destructive force they are in the world. We believe in free speech. We believe good can triumph over evil, but we can't do it alone. The Tates have money, power, and influence. That's why we need your help. Please go to givesendgo.com/free speech versus Tate to donate. Anything you can give will go to supporting free speech, citizen journalism, and telling the truth about who Andrew and Tristan Tate really are. Thank you.
Now, for those of y'all who are unfamiliar with this gentleman y'all just saw here, Milk Bar TV, aka Nathan Livingston, he has simply been going through content. Like, what has the actual defamation, slander been? The man has gone through content that has been put out by Andrew Tate himself and has been exploiting, has been exposing the exploitation of Andrew Tate through Andrew Tate's own words. Oh, Tristan, of course, as well, but he's sort of relegated to the realm. Nobody really cares, even though he's up to the same sort of shenanigans. So for me, I think if you're innocent, then obviously there's nothing to be afraid of, actually. If you do not have any evidence that is pointed towards your own wrongdoing, then you don't have to necessarily play the defense game. You can let the thing play out. You can let the evidence serve its purpose, and you will walk out with no problems. But instead, what we're getting is arresting citizens, arresting individuals on the internet who are sharing your videos. This is not a man who is sitting on live streams for hours a day exposing, like we're doing right here, giving a fleshed out narrative. Not even close. This was a man who was going into Andrew Tate's own videos from Hustler University, the same one that Scamdest Damnedest Slowens was celebrating a moment ago. This was a man who was going into those courses or wherever else it may be that this man's content was housed, publicly facing content and using that as the case. This is a man who has explicitly stated his predatory behavior. He's done it by himself, and now he's playing the victim. As soon as he gets caught up in his little Miami Vice shrunken down suit, Because that looks like, look, we got to bring that up one more time. Can we bring that up one more time? Can we see that outfit? This man over here, this is what happens when you don't follow the instructions on the back of the clothing. You got to read the label to see how things need to be washed. You understand? Because then they shrink. And now you can barely squeeze into them. Look at that. That's not a shirt that a grown man is supposed to be wearing. That's an extra medium right there. That's not even a real size that man has on right there. You end up in a situation where you think it's about to be a night about town, and instead you've got the FBI on you. Rightfully so. It's about time. Somebody said alpha female. This is Waffles. You are crazy. You're on one. This is the definition of an alpha female right here. Got the Jada Smith going on with the haircut. Alpha female indeed. wait. I'm sorry. You say he's what?
Gay maxing instead of looks maxing.
The man is gay maxing. Y'all heard it from Gen Z. Gay maxing. Looks maxing. It was dead and gone with clavicula. This man is gay maxing. That is hilarious. Oh my goodness. Lord, that shirt. You deserve to go to jail for the shirt by itself. I would send you to jail for wearing something like that as a grown man. This is a man pushing 40. He might have already pushed 40. He's 30. This is a man, he's on the brink of 40. Come on, fellas. What are we doing? Disco nights wasn't this bad. Cheers to whoever comment alpha. Yes, that's Waffles. Say shout out to Waffles for alpha female. This is comical, but it's also probably the only comedic relief that you can get out of a situation that is this severe and this disgusting. So, I promise y'all that we're going to, one way or another, get into the entire case, not the legal case, but the stacked up evidence that has been brought together by Milk Bar TV specifically around Andrew. Who is this guy actually? What is he really about? What has he said? So, unfortunately, we had a couple of jam ups. That's okay. Things happen. You guys understand. And so we have been able to get the backup for the backup of the backup. So if you guys got time today, I have got time today. So we're going to go ahead and bring up this screen share if we can. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. Okay. Let me know if you can hear the audio, Avi, and then the folks out there. Can you hear?
I was all about trying to get paid.
Yes. Good.
Okay. So again, much of this is censored. I cannot play this just out of, it irks my spirit. It's going to irk a lot of folks out there. That's number one. And also some of these things can't even be said on a platform like YouTube today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this thing. My goodness.
I used as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah. Playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far. But the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. Way to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything, because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. And they're stupid. When you're pimping.
Let me know if you guys can hear this. Somebody said, I can't hear the audio. It's pixelated. We apologize. This is show number 5. So, we'll be continuing to build. Is it okay on your side, Ivy?
Sounds good on my side.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it might just be showing up on some people's screens a little pixelated. We apologize. I loaded up and paid the extra to get stronger Wi-Fi because I know streaming takes a lot of bandwidth. I'll probably get like 2 boosters in here if that's a thing, in order to make sure that we have the strongest connection possible as we're streaming this, especially on secondary platforms. YouTube can be a little better, even sometimes can have problems, but I'm gonna run it back just a little bit, just in case some folks out there can't fully hear it. Sounds good to me for the record. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maya, for that one. Don't mess with Americans. So yeah, just in case, I want to make sure that the sound is good. Avi's always going to let me know as a producer in the back end, but if there's anything going on in the front end, you guys let me know. So I'm going to play it out. The pixels are doable. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's very, very generous and kind of you. You know, again, streaming one day will be a seamless thing, and we'll have, well, 7G terrifies me. All the G's have been kind of terrifying, but you know, if it does help to get the truth out, then God is going to use, you know, these things as well.
So I was a pimp in that sense.
Being kickboxer, yeah. Playboy, pimp.
I'm happy with those labels so far. But the majority of my money wasn't made in fighting. My money was actually made in the pimp game. Way to understand some basic concepts to the pimp game. Basic concepts to the realities between men and women. Women need a man to do OnlyFans. It's the same reason a woman need a man to do anything, because they're incompetent and they're very, very lazy. And they're stupid.
When you're pimping like me, it's a full-time job. So yeah, on corporatate.com, I have my PhD program, and that is PhD is a pimping degree that I'm
Pimping H's degree. That's his PhD.
You got a camera.
We can go back to it. It's still playing out. We're just getting started, Abby. We're
Welcome
just
to the
getting
Tate
started.
PhD course. If you've bought this course, which you obviously have, congratulations. You're going to change your life for the better. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm fucking certified. I know I don't look like a pimp right now.
Clever.
That teaches basically how I got girls, how I met girls, how I got girls to like me, how I got girls to fall in love with me to work on webcam for me. If you're on dates and you're trying to mention it and shit, it just doesn't work. It puts them off. I'd never do that. That's disgusting. I'm not, it's just not gonna work. You continue as normal, no mention of webcam, by taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam.
So let's stop right there. Let's start doing a little bit of psychoanalysis here. Okay. So right there, Andrew is admitting that most women, or most girls, he says, he doesn't even use the word women, because the people he is referring to are usually just next to, if not just over, the age of consent. And as far as this case goes that he's currently being arrested for, once again, they are on the other side of consent, which is not reaching that threshold. Okay. So he is claiming that when you're on dates with these girls, and mind you, he is addressing his audience, who he is also teaching in the fine art of pimping. Okay. He explains that most of them will not be compliant. Why? Because most people, unless they're severely traumatized, would not easily give themselves over to this level of depravity, shame, and darkness to traffic themselves. Most people would not go for it. Even those who have slight mental issues or whatever it may be, or life circumstances are hard. You know, you got women out there who could be putting their body out on, you know, the internet for people's consumption or in the streets or whatever. But even when times are harder than hard, will still not go over that certain threshold. They just won't do it. And this is something he understands. And so he is basically training young men how to get over the resistance, which is a natural resistance, which is the conscious kicking in, and hopefully the Holy Spirit stepping in to say, this is not the way. He is teaching young men how to manipulate women into selling themselves. And this is the man we're supposed to trust with values. Who is this? Somebody who may be new to Tate. Let's see. You said, I must admit, I haven't been keeping tabs on this individual, but it seems like he's creating his own little social media spectacle. Not exactly my cup of tea, if you ask me. So is this in reference to Andrew Tate? This is deeper than a spectacle if this is in reference to Andrew Tate, Para. This is a man who has created an aura for himself that makes it cool and acceptable, that takes away the taboo of being a complete degenerate as well as a criminal. That's what we're currently dealing with here. This is a man who is explicitly explaining the process of how to be a criminal like himself. Imagine if we had somebody who was a dope dealer and they're teaching a course on how to deal dope, how to break down the brick, how to cut down the pound. Don't ask how I know all these things. You know, I've had a history, and by the grace of God, I have been sanctified and redeemed. But imagine somebody on the internet pushing a course on how to distribute narcotics at the highest level, how to manipulate the law, how to do the workarounds, how to build your clientele. And then that person gets arrested for dealing dope. And now I'm supposed to believe that they are a victim to the system. Okay. Let's bring that video back up, please.
Who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange. I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income. You start with a girl, you download OnlyFans on your phone, you take her ID pictures, her name, everything it takes to verify the account, you verify the account on your phone, and you control the account. So you are now in charge of her OnlyFans. I learned every tip and trick it takes to make sure a girl gets paid. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away. And of course, they don't go out.
I need to know who's behind this Waffles page. Ponzi scheme pimping is wild. Who are you, Waffles? Is this your government name? Because your mama probably named you Waffles with this level of ridiculousness in you. This Ponzi scheme pimping is crazy. Wow. Okay, let us continue.
They're not allowed out.
Pure
You stay
shenanigans.
in the house. Because once you teach a girl how to do this, she has the ability to make unlimited money from home. Why would she still give it to you? Why don't she just run off and keep it all for herself?
That's right. Lock the door. You knew I was going to beat.
Okay, so here, I mean, I got to look, ain't going to be no haha right now. I'm going to have to wait this out. Waffles, you done killed them in the chat. Folks are falling over upside down ways, this way, that way. Waffles to knock them out. We got to put that back on screen, and then we get back to this video because, you know, we're going to have to throw in the refresher. We got to put in the theme song. Let's go ahead and get a little theme song in here. We can leave that up while we put the theme song on. I'll have to take a little dance break. Waffles. Oh, waffle. Waffles, waffles, waffles. You got time today, Waffles. You know, I used to be a pancake man myself, but I might have to transition over to them waffles. Oh boy, oh me, oh my. Ponzi scheme pimping at the lowest level. If it wasn't so tragic, it would be hilarious. Okay. My goodness. So look, it's going to get real disturbing. There is an actual video of this man abusing said victim. And well, obviously it's not going to show everything on it. There's another video of him. It's crazy that we live in a world where I can't even say the thing without getting the video censored, but then they can do the thing. That is insane to me, but we're going to go ahead and play this out. So if you could bring up that large screen for us, please, Avi, thank you.
She'd still give it to you. Why don't you just run off and keep it all for herself?
That's right. Lock the door. You knew I was going to beat the f out of you. And you behaved, I wouldn't have to hit you, would I? And you don't. Get out. You can't stay in there forever.
Bang out the machete, boom in her face, and then grip her up by the shove her get wet. Machete's on the floor, or they're all wet. You got her. That's how it goes. Every real G knows these basic moves. These are the basic moves of pimping. Because that's what I did. That was my MO was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. 10 hours of me explaining everything I know from start to finish from my career as a webcam pimp. You were the pimp. I was the pimp. But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep.
How many times does he have to admit to being a trafficker? By the way, that's what the word pimp means. I'm from the Bay Area where they basically invented the actual, not the profession, but the entire lifestyle and culture. That is not a flex. That is disgusting. That is demonic. So trafficking human beings, selling human bodies, the exploitation of another human, usually the most vulnerable human beings. That is what this man is admitting to time and time again. And yet, for some reason, well, we just gotta, make sure it's not the system that's after him because, the matrix, the matrix, the matrix. What matrix do you need? He is the matrix. The matrix is the reason why he's been brought down, then he's matrix. Andrew Matrix Tata. Andrita was what we're going to call him. Can we bring back that ridiculous outfit, please? I'm sorry. Some of y'all folks just came in right now. Y'all need to see this. How do you get arrested looking like that? Andrew Tate. Can we stop right there? Pause. Boom. And the loafers? No, I'm leaving. No. I retire. I ain't got time today. Ain't no way. How you got on your auntie's loafers? Andrita Matrix Tata. These are the Tata brothers. These ain't the Tate brothers. These are the Tata. Tate is too strong of a name. Tate. Nah, that's Tata. On the right, that was the Tate brothers. This right here, the facade, this was the Tates. These are the Tatas. Okay? Gay Max. Shout out to Avi. Gay Maxing has officially made the chat. That boy is gay maxing. Tater tots. Tater tots. You guys are off of your actual rockers. This is phenomenal. This is sensational. See, this is what we need. In this sort of darkness, all you can do is he is pride. He is the pride event. He is the embodiment of pride. He is the Thanos of pride, the final boss of pride. He snaps like this. Yeah. This is the Thanos of pride. He don't snap like this. He snapped like this. The only way you can make it through this nonsense. He said, this chat, these folks are crazy in here. If we don't laugh, say what? If we don't laugh, we'll cry. It's facts. Because this guy's an actual predator. He is a real life predator. He admitted to it over and over and over again. I'm going to run this video back a little bit so you can hear how many times he said pimp, pimp. Again, shout out to Milk Bar TV. That is our guy. Milk Bar TV has been doing the Lord's work, period. So let's go ahead and get back into this thing. The Tata brothers. Giving big alpha female energy indeed. Waffles. Maximum pride Tata. Tata maxing.
And grip her up by the shut up. Her get wet. Machete's on the floor, or they're all wet. You got her. That's how it goes. Every real G knows these basic moves.
Oh, I had to cut those words. He said, you bring a machete out. This is what he is calling some sort of arousal process. You bring a machete out, and then that leads to the attraction being turned on, and then you go and violate this individual while you got the machete out. Somebody said, no wonder why he became a Muslim. This sounds like jihad. This sounds like the stories that you hear going on across the planet where folks are literally put at machete point and are made to do the most egregious things, dead or alive. Yep, right there. No surprise he converted to Islam. No surprise at all. These things are, as far as the treatment of women, maybe this is our gay for Gaza here. Maybe that's what we're dealing with. We should have just asked. What sort of Muslim are you? Sunni, Shiite, gay for Gaza? So let us continue.
These are the basic moves of pimping. Because that's what I did. That was my MO was find girls, make them love me, and make them work for me. And that's how I got rich. So that teaches everything I know from start to finish about not only getting girls, not only obtaining them, but retaining them. 10 hours of me explaining everything I know from start to finish from my career as a webcam pimp. You were the pimp. I was the pimp. But now we're coming towards the end of Corona. I'm going to keep like 5 or 6 of my main girls.
Hey, don't forget, my girls were making us money too. Don't forget that.
Yeah,
I was just saying.
Let them take full.
You see, he got in his feelings. He said, wait, I was doing some trafficking as well. I was contributing. Like, what kind of? I saw you nod your head right now, Avi. What are your thoughts on this right now?
This is insane. It just kind of world that we live in now. It's really sad to see what's going on and how people are acting on what's okay and what's not okay. It's how I mean that's why a generation of guys that they are with their these they follow them word for word.
That is heartbreaking. So, Avi is just straight out of Compton. No, well, a little bit straight out of Gen Z. And like she said, there are young men who are actually following suit. Now, I pray to God that this one doesn't do what the first ones did, but we're going to try to bring up slot 5 because there is a real impact that has taken place as far as these guys are concerned. It is making its way generationally. As a matter of fact, Andrew Tate built a name within the world of, unfortunately, young conservative men. So let's go ahead and bring
say to
up
me,
slot
you're
5
Catholic. How can you
do our
support
best
a
here.
pimp, a literal pimp? I don't support the pimp activities. I support what he says politically. And the reason why he is being persecuted has nothing to do with, we have to just say it outright. This is a deeply immoral society. Hollywood is putting out movies about trannies, about they're defending all the time. They make shows like Euphoria. They're about every kind of sexual perversion, every kind of sexual deviancy. And then they pretend, oh, now suddenly we have a problem with it. Really? No. The reason that Andrew Tate has been subject over many years to censorship, government persecution at the state level, it has nothing to do with those things. It's all political. People like Jeffrey were tolerated. Real traffickers were tolerated,
let's pause it real
defended.
quickly. So look, let's go ahead and get into the game that is being played here. I feel like it is always important to read between the lines. Now, the Mexican white supremacist Nick Fuentes, aka the gay groper king himself, is a master at convolution. Let me explain. He is able to take the idea of a Jeffrey Epstein and his perversions and then to tie that somehow to the same system who wouldn't go after Jeffrey is now going after Andrew Tate. Therefore, Andrew Tate must be innocent and the system is coming after him. Now, the reality is this. They got Jeffrey. Some people believe that he's still alive. He's still out here. And many others believe that he is dead. One way or another. But they got him. Okay? Eventually, they got the guy. Now, do I know all the facts as to how long it took, how many people were essentially hiding the case or pretending as if it didn't exist? I don't know. I don't have that information. What I do know is Jeffrey Epstein did not go onto podcasts admitting what he was doing. So it was a harder case than Andrew Tata, Andrita Tata, to be specific. Andrew is explicitly explaining the processes he was using in order to exploit young women. Jeffrey was lying about the things he was doing, was hiding the things that he was doing. And somebody brought this up. Epstein was arrested by Americans, Tate not by Americans. No comparison works. Fantastic point. Fantastic point. Andrew claimed at a certain point in time that he moved to Romania due to the laxness in the laws. The same Romania who ends up locking him up in a dungeon, rightfully so, and then he starts to essentially, using his own terminology, avoid accountability because he is highly emotional. That's what he accuses all women of being, so emotional, and none of them take accountability. Now, most humans don't take accountability, so we can go with that right there. Mostly Andrew Tata. To the point where he can explain his crimes in public, he gets arrested for those crimes, then now he claims that there is a system that has been built in order to take him down. when people play videos of him snitching on himself, those people are arrested. Excuse me. Those people are litigated. Those people have lawsuits on their head top for using his own footage. We have Nathan Livingston, who did nothing more than clip up videos that came directly from the source, zero commentary. That's enough to convict the man. And yet that same man is now looking to silence those voices. He sounds more like the Matrix than the actual Matrix he speaks of. And so he has individuals like the Mexican white supremacist Fuentes coming out here, and he always got to make the statement, well, I don't support the pimping. This Fuente, I don't support the pimp. As a Catholic, I don't support the pimping, but I mean, come on, give the guy a break, right? I don't like girls. Everybody knows it. I mean, come on, they're gross. So I kind of like his politics. What politics? The politics of pimping, pimping politics? What politics? You're talking about regurgitated statements, cliches, simple things to say. Man, y'all need to get out of here. And the young boys, men are chewing this up. This is what happens when a Jordan Peterson is taken out the picture. You end up getting this. This is the replacement, unfortunately. When you have the missing or sort of a void of actual Christian, biblical-centered men, this is what we get. The Nick Freytises of the world. We need them. We don't need this. The Charlies of the world, RIP. We need them. We don't need this. And so you have the Andrews, and then you have those who will simp for the Andrews, like a Fuentes. And I know there's folks who like Fuentes. Fuentes has become a tame version because of how crazy the Groypers have actually gotten. They've gotten crazier than they master, to the point where this man is like, wait, we need to stop with the Jew hate. Yeah. Oh, somebody said Nick Freitas over Nick Fuentes. 5. Nick Freitas over Nick Fuentes every single day of the week. There we go. Charlie Kirk over Andrew Tate, period. True masculinity. What does the Bible say about masculinity? Let's get into it for a second, because this is the core of everything we believe. We believe in that Bible. I don't know about you and your house, but as far as me and mine, we gonna serve the Lord. Okay? Somebody left a comment yesterday. They said, I really don't like how you have gone from a ministry to a business. You've changed. And I said, wait a minute. Wait, what does that mean? A business? Oh, so you don't want Avi to be able to eat. You don't want us to be able to pay Avi to be. Is that what you said? What are you talking about? A business? Oh, you want struggle. And so you don't actually want us to be able to do more and to bless more folks. No? So, I internalized that a little bit. I say, wait a minute, what does that even mean? But anyway, we're going to get right into it. What does the word have to say about manhood and masculinity? And does Andrew Tate fit the model of what the Bible has to say? The Bible is the framework that we have built a prosperous nation off of. America was founded on biblical principles. Those old Judeo texts. The Hebrew laws created the framework for our legal system in the United States. The founding fathers had a reverence for that Bible. Now, were they all perfect Christians? Not necessarily. The likes of the Candaces trying to paint them out to be the Freemasons and this, and they actually never believed in God. Well, you know what? The Bible was still at the epicenter. I see paintings of a George Washington praying. I see speeches from President Lincoln after his radical transformation, where he called for prayer, fasting, and humiliation for the entire nation after Gettysburg. That's what I see. I don't see that from a lot of these politicians of today. So our framework, our building block structure was that of the scripture. So What do the scriptures have to say about what a man is? Where in the scriptures did it talk about the exploitation of women? Where in the scriptures does it talk about taking advantage of the most vulnerable? Where? Where in our scriptures does it talk about going out there and sleeping with as many women as possible in order to validate yourself as a masculine man? See, as far as my Messiah is concerned, we are to love our wives as he loves his own body, as he loves his own church. We, in love, are to lay down our lives for our brothers, our sisters, for our families. Self-sacrificial. That is masculinity. Men who go out and get it done. Now, we can talk about femininity and those qualities, and many of them are missing, unfortunately. We can go into modern day feminism and what it has done to the mindsets of young women. It has destroyed a generation of young women, and it breaks my heart. They're being sold an entire crock. But when it comes to manhood, masculinity, what is being displayed to these young men is an Andrew Tate, is a Nick Fuentes, a clavicula. What is a clavicula? What is that? Oh, stupid maxing. Self-obsessed, narcissism maxing. Men who are more focused on themselves, looking in a mirror, making themselves pretty, spending more time in that mirror than their girl does. That's what has become of these young men. Shooting themselves up with steroids just so they can look the part, but yet they're as soft as Charmin. Just soft. Just can't take any adversity, can't go through anything. What is masculinity? As far as what my Bible says, which is my constitution, that's my end all be all. That's where I get my rules, my guidelines, my structural framework. As far as my Bible is concerned, manhood, masculinity has everything to do with service. Do you think that the servant is greater than the master? This is what Yeshua said to us. Do you think that the servant is greater than the master? Okay, so why do you think that the servant is going to have to serve less than the master? Because the master has come to serve. Did Yeshua not come to serve? I don't see any service with Andrew Tate. I see selfishness. I see conceit. I see me. Look, I love business. I am a capitalist at heart. I believe in free trade. But don't get it twisted. If you are building a world based upon ruining people's lives, taking advantage of people, that is not capitalism. That is not entrepreneurship. That is evil. That is wicked. That is deceptive. And this is what Andrew Tate stands for. This is who he is. This is what he is at his core. He is a liar, a deceiver. Of course, when it is necessary and it's time to market himself, he's a pimp, which means an exploiter, which means a trafficker, which means an individual who will steal the innocence from somebody in order to make a dollar. What you say over there, Shelvia? We do have time today. We got time today. We got time today. So I do want to play out the rest of this Nick Fuentes video, not for the sake that some of y'all think, but I see, Avi, you've brought up something here with the clavicula, right? Do you want to bring that up at some point, or? Okay, so this is a clavicula, by the way, because some of y'all folks don't know what a clavicula is. I didn't know what that was until they started forcing this dude onto my feed, right? But let's go ahead and see what is this going on. This is another example for your sons and your brothers out there right now, your grandsons. Let's go ahead and play this, please. Oh, okay, got you. I felt like that moment, you know, when you think they're taking a picture, but they're taking a video, and so you're just like. So there we go, clavicular. This young man, unfortunately, has been shape-shifting. He has been doing all kinds of surgeries. The man took meth in order to lose weight. Like there's not even shame in this anymore. This is what's happening to our young boys. And I feel for him because I know that the devil does not play fair. He comes at him young. And as Avia said, there is an epidemic of fatherless households. And this is the effect that it is having on the men. And unfortunately, sometimes you may have Papa in the house, but you don't really have Papa in the house. Dad is not really present. He's not fully there. He's not engaged in the way he's supposed to be. And I get that life is hard. I get that life can sometimes feel like it's not worth living. I understand that. I get it. And we are waiting on Messiah to redeem this thing and bring it back to its natural order. I completely understand. And I will never take away from the truth that is depression, the truth that is deep senses of anxiety and worthlessness, etc. But that's the devil playing on them emotions. And he will find a way to seep in, playing both the woman and the man. Don't forget in that old garden, the woman, it says the woman was deceived and the man sinned. The woman, somebody said, Lord, my Lord Jesus, come quickly, immediately, expeditiously, we want him to come. We're ready. I don't know about, I'm ready. I'm ready for, I'm so thankful for this life. I'm so thankful for everything God has afforded me in this present experience, but this is not our home. So in the time being, we do everything we must and everything we can. And one of those things is to expose evil when it shows up, because we do not want folks losing their souls for the sake of gaining a wretched and ratchet world. Can we go back into the video with Nick there, please? The wrong type of Nick. Thank you. Is it freezing on you? Let me see if I can bring it up on my side. It's all good. So yeah, we're gonna figure that whole situation out. See, you always got to have a backup for your backup. Don't even worry about it, girl. You always got to have a backup. In the meantime, let's go ahead and play that little theme song while this downloads.
I can't waste a minute, Lord knows the time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time,
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
With no time to waste.
I got time, yeah.
Okay. By the way, that's Wifey on them vocals. Shout out to Wifey, one of the most talented people, period. This is her all behind me. That's her. Like, she's just one of them. She's one of the ones. So, okay, here is video back. Again, I'm gonna play this thing out. Can you see it pop up on your side off? Okay.
I got it.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna play this thing out, and we will reconvene. Sometimes I don't always like playing these out because sometimes the propaganda be hitting. Sometimes that's the thing with Nick. Sometimes like, oh, that makes sense a little bit. That makes sense a little bit. And then you're like, wait a minute. This dude is not an honest actor.
A lot of people say to me, you're Catholic. How can you support a pimp, a literal pimp? I don't support the pimp activities. I support what he says politically. And the reason why he is being persecuted has nothing to do with, we have to just say it outright. This is a deeply immoral society. Hollywood is putting out movies about trannies, about they're defending all the time. They make shows like Euphoria. They're about every kind of sexual perversion, every kind of sexual deviancy. And then they pretend, oh, now suddenly we have a problem with it. Really? No. The reason that Andrew Tate has been subject over many years to censorship, government persecution at the state level, it has nothing to do with those things. It's all political. People like Jeffrey were tolerated. Real traffickers were tolerated, defended. The intelligence agencies run cover for them. Literally, the reason Jeffrey wasn't charged.
I got to stop right there because this sort of propaganda needs to be dealt with accordingly. Kash Patel sometimes gets a hard time for no reason at all. Kash Patel has been responsible for putting away likely more traffickers than any other director of the FBI in modern history. They have been doing massive sting operations that nobody's talking about, unfortunately, because many don't care. But yet you have a person like Nick talking about how there's all this cover up going on for these predators when predators are being locked up every single day by Kash Patel's FBI. Now, of course, they use the entire Epstein situation because it is one that obviously drives viewership. It is scandalous. It is juicy at its core, right? It's the story. It has to do with espionage and government and celebrity and, the entire infrastructure of society. It's not the story of the kids, 300,000 of them lost at the border and 50,000 of them found thanks to the Trump administration. It's not the story, not so glamorous and not so sexy, about the kids who are Minnesota who were found after they exposed the corruption going on in Minnesota. They only care about the Epstein situation. First and foremost, is really a leftist tactic in order to discredit the Trump administration. Let's be honest, they had 4 years and nothing was said. The woke right is doing the same thing. Thomas Massey was in Congress for 4 years, said absolutely nothing. I believe he mentioned the file all but 3 times versus more than 160 times once President Trump was in office. Go figure. So, when I hear stuff like this, especially from somebody like Nick, who seems to do his research, that's when I start calling him a propagandist. Where are the stories of the many convictions that are happening right now in Trump's FBI locking away actual traffickers? Because he said actual, right? And Andrew Tate is going to be added to that list, by the way. Now, all of a sudden, it's the Matrix. Give me a break. Let's get back to that, please.
With everything that he was accused of even 20 years ago, is because they said he is intelligence. He is part of the intelligence world. So don't tell me they're cracking down on Andrew Tate because of trafficking, or the government loves porn. The government loves trafficking. They protect traffickers. Ever heard of Epstein? Ever heard of any of those people? Let's just put that out there. Starting in 2022 and 2023, they brought the hammer down and in 1 week banned him from everything. TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, because of his politics. Then they threw him in jail in Romania because of his politics. Why do you think they dropped the case? The case was created, and then the case went away just as easily, having nothing to do with the evidence in the case. He never had a trial. It was because of the political pressures. He was arrested under Biden. He was freed under Trump. It was political.
And now,
and then Tate comes to the United States.
Yes.
And they say, once again, the Attorney General of Florida, he doesn't say we've received new evidence. He didn't say we got a police report. We know what's up. They said, we don't like this guy. We're going to open a criminal investigation just because we don't like what he's up to. It's political. And you look at what Andrew Tate is saying, and this guy, I've said it before, and this is controversial, but hear me out here. Andrew Tate is pushing political viewpoints for all the people that don't like him on this side that are more red-pilled than almost anybody else that is actually, strictly speaking, in politics, explicitly, overtly a political pundit.
So here's the thing. This is what I call the sort of Trojan horse that many of these sorts of individuals use in order to, I guess, create a justification loop for themselves. Now, somebody in my comments here said unsubscribe, which is fascinating because if this is what it takes for you to unsubscribe, then good riddance. If this is what you're in defense of and this is what's irking your spirit, then there's probably an unclean spirit that is dealing in your life. I'm going to just say it straight up. That is demonic if this is the type of thing that you want to represent and stand for, and this upsets you when this is getting exposed. This, like a lot of other things, if it's Miss Rachel or something, I could get it. You know what I mean? You got the affinity. Your kids love Miss Rachel. Oh, y'all can you talk about Miss Rachel? This is Andrew Tate a self-proclaimed exploiter of human beings, young human beings, may I add. So, when I get back to this certain point of how the likes of the Andrew Tates, he's not the first one. He's really a symptom of a greater problem. But how do they use this mechanism of a little bit of truth with a whole lot of the lie, or a little bit of good with a whole lot of evil, which I believe cancels out the good? So when I first got into the red pill as a 19, 20, 21-year-old, yes, I unfortunately was a part of that degenerate circle. And that's how many of these things have been clear as day to me. I was a part of it. I could see it from the inside, and then getting out of that cult of many personalities and realizing what I was in. I got in due to my fixation with self-improvement. I saw the personal development aspect as something that would change my life drastically. So Andrew Tate presented himself as a personal development and self-help genius, right? A guy who would simply motivate you into your greatest version of your greatest self. Sort of like a Tony Robbins, only with a PhD, pimping degree. That's, Tony Robbins, but pimping is basically what Andrew Tate was being presented as. Now, of course, he wasn't using that sort of terminology on every platform. He still knew how to camouflage and chameleon himself, just like he did on the Candace video, which we will bring back up in a little bit. But this is a guy who understands that if you just, you just put enough of the truth in there and you just do enough seeming good, then you can pretty much get away with most of the terrible, because there are those who will then defend you. Scamdus, same exact strategy. There is just enough truth in there, just slivers of the truth, to where, okay, let me break this down like a more personal, sort of relational aspect. If you're in a relationship with a malignant narcissist, in the beginning, they love bomb you. They pour it on thick. All is good and well. They love you. That you are the apple of their eye. They see no other. As time goes on, as they begin to devalue you, as they begin to show their true colors, what happens is all of a sudden they're giving 75%. And you're wondering, wait, what happened to 100? And then they give you a little 80, 90, maybe once in a while they go back to 100, and you feel that connection and that bond once again. And then they go to 50%. And then you wonder what's going on. I don't understand. But, we were at, oh, don't worry. They give you 75. And now you feel incredible because, well, that's way better than 50, right? All the way until they get you right there to the scraps. Now you're fighting for 5% of their love and affection. You're fighting for this right here. That's all you want. Just please give me a little, just a morsel. And so you have a guy who comes in and he's motivating and inspiring you. And then he brings in a little bit of, the devious, diabolical, terrible. And, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying it because I'm some sort of simp. You understand me? I'm not saying this because I'm a man who is pandering to my wife. So happy wife. No, I love my wife. I respect her, but I'm still going to be the leader in our household. And I would do it from a place of love, and I would lay my life down for my family. That's me. However, this is a man who is pushing ideas that are detrimental to the building of households and families. Somebody brought this up. He came from a broken household. His daddy was an absentee daddy, going out there as a chess player, and then will come back 3 to 6 months later and then, basically cuss his mama out, and the boys would cheer on daddy because daddy's a real man. No, that's called trauma, and you need to deal with that. And Allah's not going to do it, Mr. Fake Muslim Andrew Tate. It's not going to do it. You're going to need Jesus for them type of problems. Jesus and a fantastic psychologist. So back to the analogy. They feed you just enough good to keep you in until all of a sudden there is maybe 5% of the good in there, but you're still defending them because you remember the 5%. When I first started listening to Candace back in the day, almost 8 years ago, something like that, it's like 95% truth. Oh my goodness, you are on point. Yes, I believe that, and that, and that, and that. And then all of a sudden you got 95% cuckoo, but people are defending the 5% of maybe truth that slip in every now and then. You're defending your abuser. You've got Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is what these people have who are in defense of this. Now, he's an opportunist, he's an instigator, he's a rage baiter, and he is a closeted frog master. That's what the Groypers are. That's what they do. But more than anything else, he is a brilliant propagandist and he knows how to effectively get a message across. I will give him that. But he's not getting one over me. Absolutely not. I'm not going to go for, well, I don't like Andrew's pimping ways, but no, that is who he is. That's his character. I don't care about the words that you're saying. I care about the way that you're moving through life. Actually, I do care about the words that you're saying, the words that you repeat, the words that are revealing who you actually are, the words that reveal the fruit that is bearing from your life, because eventually these people snitch on themselves. So how can you say on one side, I know this guy is a complete degenerate. I know potentially he's a criminal who is exploiting humans, but I mean, come on. It's the system. It's the matrix. They're after him. Look at his politics. What politics? Avi, I'm gonna ask Avi. What politics are they? Is Nick speaking of? What politics should we be, Andrew Tate?
There's no politics other than the fact that they just have a hatred towards women, which is now involved in Groyperism. So I guess that would be the politics, is hatred towards women.
Oh, so my politics should be to hate my wife. My politics should be to exploit my wife, right? To never have gotten married in the beginning, in the first place. Don't get married. See, when Charlie was telling us, get married, have babies, in that order, by the way, not to have the babies and then get married. If you did it in reverse, Lord have mercy, I pray for you, but that wasn't the way intended. Get married, have the babies, and put that relationship under the covering of the true living God. That's what, Charlie was not a perfect man by any stretch, but I believe that he was a solid man and a good man. And his life was representation of that. Andrew Tate has multiple baby mamas. Andrew Tate does not have a stable household for his children to grow up in. Let's really get down to it. Andrew Tate is raising his own daughters in a chaotic infrastructure in order for him to live out a sicko fantasy of being whatever this is. Can we bring that, just the ridiculousness of that? Can we bring back slide 0? This is what he traded in having a stable household for. This is it. Huh? For Boogie Nights, you traded in a godly life for Boogie Nights just to end up in cuffs. I pray to God you end up in a Romanian prison in that outfit and become somebody's girlfriend. You're going to be somebody's boo thing. Looking like this, you look real cute to somebody in prison. I'm just going to tell. Somebody in there is looking at you, licking their chops in Romania right now, wherever you got your citizenship at. They are looking at you like a snack. And ain't going to be no matrix in there. There is no matrix. There's no Bugatti. None of that is existent behind those cold bars. I know that we are unfortunately under a wicked and evil system, and there is oftentimes no justice for those who are deserving of it. And that is not something that goes beyond or past our God. God is going to bring ultimate judgment in everything. There is going to be reconciliation for all things. Mankind believes there is no judgment, but yet the judgment day is closer today than it ever was. There will be retribution for every single man, woman, and child. Well, obviously, of the age of reason, there will be a report to give about your own life. So I understand when somebody may feel like, well, there's many of these perverted individuals, and they don't seem to be brought into any sort of, judicial system that deals with them accordingly. That's true. I've seen multitudes of injustices. I've seen people incarcerated who shouldn't be in prison. I've seen men accused of doing things they never did and women being accused of things they never did. I have heard tales of people lied about in the most egregious ways. But ultimately, every now and then, you have somebody who ends up in prison for doing the thing they actually did. Every now and then, you get a little taste of justice on this side of eternity. And this is a little taste of justice on this side of eternity. If you're a criminal and you are caught for your crimes and you do time for your crimes, that is justice. There is no matrix, there is no system, whatever that you can blame for the thing that you did. Well, there's so many others. Like you go to the UK, there is a massive scandal of thousands, if not tens of thousands, of these Muslim Pakistanis who should be in prison right now beneath the prison for violating multitudes of young women, multitudes of girls throughout the UK. That's facts. And sometimes they'll bring these sort of, stories up in order to validate their own crimes. I have this thing of the ability of one to breathe and tie your shoe at the same time. As I used to say back in the day, I can chew gum and walk. It's possible to do two things. I can look at one person who is a degenerate criminal and exploiter of other human beings, and I can look at another and say they both need to be in prison. That's why I can look at the woke right and the woke left and say both of them need to be dealt with. Yeah. So I'm going to do my best to essentially deal with both of them. And I pray that the criminal justice system deals with both of them. I want the Pakistani Muslim men, majority Muslim Pakistanis, let's just be real about who's doing it. I want every single one of them who are guilty to be incarcerated, to be underneath the prison in the same way this self-proclaimed pimp needs to be underneath the prison. It's really as simple as that. So, like I said, I want to play out the rest of this video with Candace. I pray that it plays out for us. We've been having a little bit of a trial and error, but we'll get these things resolved. This is only show number 5, so we will figure out the figuring outs. And let me know if that slot 1 is playing for y'all. Okay, it just disappeared on you. It's just gone. Okay, it's just gone. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna download it on my side, and we can bring it up the same way we've been doing the other ones. All righty. That's why you always got to have a backup for your backups backup. Let's bring this up here.
Time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no.
Okay, let's get that thing going. And I'll play it out. For some of y'all who just tuned in right now, or maybe in the last 20-30 minutes, we're going to go ahead and run this thing back. I don't think we finished it off. So, this is going to be the time to do that because I have got time today.
And so I do also want to, in closing, commend you on something which was so crazy. So there was this person who was doing a bunch of digital content. I thought his content was amazing, got into touch. Figured out this is a young school kid, basically essentially 20 years old, just turned 20 years old. And I'm like, dude, you're a hustler. You're a hustler. Where did you learn how to do all of this stuff? I'm going to hire you. I'm like, what school did you go to? Harvard, Columbia? Hustler University. I said, excuse me? What's hustler? I went to Andrew Tate's school and I learned how to do all of these. This kid is going to make a killing. I'm telling you, he's going to make an absolute killing. It's around the clock, work. Yeah. Comes from the wrong side of the tracks. I figure out, hired him. one of the greatest hires that I've had, like unbelievably. And so that really, to me, also signals a lot, because I talk about what is so wrong with the education system. And then you learn that these kids, this is why they hate you, these kids who just want a freaking opportunity, who will work around the clock, who just want to be able to feed their families someday, who come from the wrong side of the tracks, are jumping into, I genuinely don't even know what Hustle University is, but I know that that kid is 10 times more effective than people that are coming out of with college degrees right now as looking for somebody. He is a hustler, like literally is a hustler. Yeah. And so I want to commend you on whatever it is that you built that created this.
He built an internet prostitution business. That's what he built. Now, somebody put an interesting comment in here. This looks like one of the cultists of Candace. They said, quit while Erica is still paying you. Daddy Tatum isn't going to support you after Erica is arrested. Let me speak to you, Javier Sanchez, specifically. Yes, I'm calling you out by name because you have outed yourself by name. This show is called I've Got Time Today because I indeed have got time today. Okay? Sometimes I got time for the mentally deranged and insane, those who are under the possession of a demonic spirit known as Scamdilla Owens. It is a spirit that is operating within you and every single one of the individuals who have fed into this evil. Javier, come to the front of the classroom. Let's talk if you want to talk, okay? Come on. Right here, Javier. Right here. Javier, show me one piece of evidence that Erica Kirk was involved in her husband's assassination outside of your master. Look, I am not like your supporter of Erica, but I like you better than those Tate brothers. Yeah, of course you do, because you like deranged degenerates. Of course. Of course. No, we're gonna keep this one up right here, Avi, please. For Javi. We're gonna keep this one up for Javi, just to show what type of mentality some of these people are dealing with. Okay. So Javier is over here perpetuating the same delusion and derangement that has come from a woman who is licking the boot of a pimp with no problem. That's who Javier is. Javier has an affinity for pimps, for liars, for hypocrites, for the deranged, for the insane. So, of course, Javier could not be on the side of an Erica Kirk who is grieving her husband. He could not be on the side of a woman who actually believes in the true living God and really believes that gospel. Javier likes to play pretend, just like the rest of the individuals that Javier is a massive fan of. Now, I pray for you, even though I'm about to rebuke you right now and the thing that is operating in you, because you came over here with this. I've got time today. Now, it's interesting that you brought up Brother Tatum, because Brother Tatum is somebody I have respect for, but has honestly broken my heart when it comes to actually addressing the woman that you have allegiance to in Scamdis Slowens, the slowest of the slow, the damnedest of the damned in Damnedest Owens. He has not brought her up by name, as I was assuming he would, maybe 9, potentially 5 to 6 months ago. So putting us in the same camp, obviously you haven't been here long enough to understand what it is that we've been doing here, the case we've actually been building based off of actual evidence, as opposed to trust me bro-isms that have been coming from yours. So Javier, this right here, now we can bring up that secondary message that you brought up. This one right here. I might not like your support of Erica, but I like you better than you like me better than okay, you like me better than the Tate brothers, is what you said. But you don't like my support of Erica. You don't like my support of Erica. I will always support Erica. I will always stand behind the innocent, the persecuted. I will always stand with those individuals who are being used for the sake of clicks and views while they suffer in silence. If you have a problem with that, Javier, you need to check your spirit. I got love for you as a fellow human being. And I pray to God that you come to know the true living God. I do. I would suggest getting Erica's name up out of your mouth before you have to deal with that true living God and the rebuke that he has for those who do what you are currently doing, endorsing, perpetuating to a woman that has been broken by a trauma and tragedy, a woman who still has to care for her babies day in and day out while you continue to do internet fingers. That's my message for you, Javier. God bless. Let's continue. Let's get back to your master here. There we go.
Are jumping into. I genuinely don't even know what Hustle University is, but I know that that kid is 10 times more effective than people that are coming out of with college degrees right now as looking for somebody. He is a hustler, like literally is a hustler.
Yeah.
And so I want to commend you on whatever it is that you built that created this young kid who's going to absolutely crush it. And that should really signal to people that there is something so corrupt and wrong that the majority of these kids who graduate with their $100,000 degrees are going to make $35K and live a life in debt and to eventually become a slave while they laugh at people who follow Andrew Tate and go to Hustler University because they're going to take over these kids.
No, and that means a lot to me.
Believes and feels entitled to see Erica's tears, and she doesn't have to show or prove anything to you. See, these are the type of folk you're going to have in this chat. I know I'm not perfect. I know I got a petty side and I got a every side. You understand me? But when it's all said and done, I'm not going to cancel you out of here. I'm not going to delete your messages. And you really want that attention like you do, I'm going to bring you up and I'm going to explain it and I'm going to break it down for you exactly how I see it. Erica Kirk is somebody who I have thankfully come to know through the folks around her as somebody who has been consistent for a decade plus, which is something I can't say for the woman who has been slandering and ridiculing her and making her life a living hell, even though she is heaven bound. Something that Scamdus will never know about. Just the widow. No, but what? No, see, this isn't the subject for today. But again, I got time today. The show is called that for a reason, Javier. I've got time today. People never bring out the facts about Erica, just the widow. Okay. So where are your facts? Where are your facts that Erica Kirk was involved in the assassination of her husband? Where's your facts? I don't want opinions. I don't want speculations. I want your facts. Because your overlord, the one whom you have heeded the voice of, is the one who has created this narrative out of thin air. I've done the searches. There was no looking into Erica until the day that Scamdus brought her up, period. I don't just got time to say, we got time. We got time. We've got time. We're here. And I'm sorry for folks, if this keeps on freezing on y'all, I apologize that the YouTube is not YouTubing for some folks out there who may be dealing with this. I apologize. Again, we're going to get it figured out. We're going to get it figured out. No, see, this is how this works. You want facts, right? So the burden of proof is on your side because you're the one making the accusation. That's how that works. You can't go, you did this, you give me evidence that you didn't. That's not how that works, Javier. How it works is you as the accuser, you as the one who is bringing forward a case, need to be the one to substantiate the case. That's why right now in the trial or preliminary hearing of Tyler Robinson, it is on those accusing him, those on the offensive, the prosecution, they're the ones bringing evidence. They brought the videos and the tapes out of the young man on campus, unlike Candace, Scamdus, damnedest Owens continue to lie about. There's your proof that the young man was on campus. There's your proof that the young man was on that rooftop at that exact moment in time. Your continuous evidence presented by those who have the burden of proof on them. So Javier, you are the accuser. Therefore, you must bring the burden of proof. And I don't want he say, she say. I need the receipts. I need to see Erica somewhere involved. I need to see the paperwork. I need to see her involvement. I need to see it. If you don't have that, then you've got nothing. All you've got is a narrative. You've got chatter. And by the grace of God, I pray that you wake up. Because if you don't have enough discernment to realize that this is a lie, you're going to get got by anything. This is the age of deception. You are going to get got by anything. You can see Andrew Tate and maybe well, this guy, he's a problem. But Candace, she's on to something. I have folks who hit me up now who've got husbands falling into this nonsense. Husbands lack any discernment. Who've got wives, who've got children that have fallen into this trap. It breaks my heart to see that Javier's actually exist. People who have made it a career for themselves, a side hustle to continue to persecute a victim, a woman whose husband was killed. So you don't like the widow. Okay, fantastic. We'll take the widow out of it. A woman whose husband was killed by a leftist, just like her husband knew would likely do. A leftist would take his life one day. Charlie's own words. What's that? Can we bring that back up, please? If that was of substance. Candace is the epitome of a disgusting opportunist. Javier, I pray you meet Jesus before you meet my goodness. I pray you meet Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, on this side of eternity before you meet him for real. I pray to God that is the case. If you are lacking this level of discernment, I can only assume that you do not yet know him. The fruit ain't fruiting. And I know there's some folks out here who save, but they still, they ain't locked in like that. So they're lacking the discernment, but I don't know if that's you. If you can't see this one, you can't even discern right and wrong in something as obvious as this. My goodness. God strictly warns against mistreating widows, considering them highly valuable. That's right. According to Exodus 22, what is that? Chapter 22, verse 22 to 24. If you mistreat a widow, she cries out to him, God will hear her cry. And you don't want to see how God deals with those who are under his wrath, under his judgment, those who sit at the left seat of the throne, the goats. You don't want to know how he deals with the goats. And we ain't talking about Lionel Messi. It is impossible for someone with the Holy Spirit in them to support Candace without being convicted. I don't get how you could even watch long term. I don't get how you could sit there and absorb that information and go, that is correct. I had a young woman's testimony, which I played last episode. Last episode, we had a woman who was explaining how when she was not in that word, when she was not connected to her God, she was depressed, she was down, miserable, and she would love to watch Candace at the end of the day. Love to watch Candace, would tune into every show. And her husband said, this woman is not right. This woman's spirit is not in the right place. And she said, once she started to get into her word, once she started getting back in her prayer closet, everything changed from that moment moving forward. She couldn't watch it anymore. It was filth to her. It was the filthy rags, because when you got the Holy Spirit moving in you, like individual said over there, I'm sorry, I forgot who exactly it was that said it. Can we bring that up one more time? Talking about when you got the Holy Spirit in. True discernment. If you could find it, if not, it's okay. It is impossible for someone with the Holy Spirit in them to support Candace without being convicted. You're going to feel something. There's going to be an irking, an urging, a pleading in your spirit. Sometimes, heck, I'll watch a show, a movie, whatever it is, and I feel that, this ain't it. Turn this off. This is not right. That doesn't register with the spirit that is now housed within. No, absolutely not. The Holy Spirit is powerful. Don't quench the spirit or you will surely be deceived. Facts. Exactly. I stopped watching Candace when I realized how evil her energy was emitting from her. Facts. You can feel it. Like it's you can sense it throughout you. And again, we don't go just off of feelings. We first have the presentation of facts, which again, as a person who is constantly accusing others of things without substantiated facts, without any sort of evidence, the burden of proof is always on her. Don't ever let people gaslight you like Javier was trying to do today. Javier was trying to do the gaslight. which is show me the evidence of what I accused. Unfortunately, Javier has entertained ungodly gossip with no proof or evidence to support. This in itself is dangerous and will create anxiety in Erica. And you know, Erica is a fighter. She has the armor of God on, period. This is a woman who stays rooted in her word. She does her Bible 365 all day, every day of the year. She is preaching that gospel, or at least has somebody on that platform preaching the gospel, even in the midst of absolute tragedy and trauma. That's Erica. She's leading people to Jesus Christ, and Candace is leading them to the Antichrist. They are not the same. Scamdus supports Islam. Of course. I mean, that's the inevitable conclusion. You're going to end up supporting jihad at some point in time. You're going to end up supporting jihad one way or another. It's just as simple as that. That's how this game plays out. You first start off with the Jew, the Jew, the Jew, and then all of a sudden you find yourself, well, you know, Islam and, you know, Sharia law, it's not really that bad. I reached the point where over the months I felt uncomfortable hearing her voice, then seeing her face, and finally even saying her name. My goodness. In the same way she can't say Jesus Christ unless she's cussing. You make her sound like Mary, the mother of Christ. What are you, this person? Okay, you got to be a troll. There's no way you actually reason like this. You make her sound like Mary, the mother of Christ. What are you talking about? Candace would not criticize the Tate brothers as they are friends and with her husband. Yes, that's how she met the Tate brothers. Her husband knew Andrew before he made a dime from his pimping. When he was still weak chin Andrew. I mean, he still is weak chin Andrew, but you know, she got introduced to this individual early on in their relationship because he knew this guy early on in his own life. So that's a red flag in and of itself. I was convicted to stop watching Candace while watching Charlie Kirk cover the 2024 election. I knew that some of these what is this? Eight-wing influencers were going to reveal themselves as opportunists. See, look, God will show you. Oh, right. Thank you. God will show you things to come. If you go back in my content, you will find videos about Megyn Kelly, about Candace Owens, about Tucker Carlson. Hey, you'll find messages about Theo Von and Sean Ryan and the whole rest. I put out a message on Sean Ryan on X that got me flamed. And 2 weeks later, Candace was on his show, lying more. That's not because I'm a genius. That's God at work. I'm telling y'all. What's this next one? Scamdus, Scamdilla, Sloans shows openly that she is bitter, jealous, mean. Bitter. Yes, she is. You put double bitter because that's a lot of bitter. She is a sour individual. Show me one case that Erica criticized and insulted anyone, including Candace. That is so good. That is such a fantastic point. Back to the fruit that a person is bearing in their life. What is this? They both went to Russia together to move money. I believe not just that. So, let me break something down for y'all. This is a little scoopity scoop, scoop-diddy whoop. Okay. So the individual who was first setting this case accusations against the Macrons, the first journalist who was sort of covering this story, had to move to Russia in order to, quote unquote, protect themselves. Y'all can go ahead and look that story up. One of the journalists, I believe it was the first one, if not the second one, because it was two specific ones that she gets almost all her information from when it comes to the Macron case. This woman is lazy as lazy gets. She is not willing to do actual research. That's why y'all got Egyptian planes and, you got Utah time zones and all kinds of whacked out theories. But you look into the case. One of those journalists had to move to Russia. So I think that Candace may be setting herself up for real. She might be looking to find a way out just before it's too late, because these cases about to mount. And after Tyler gets convicted, it's a wrap for sis. I pray the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob will disperse all the rulers of darkness and the principalities that hover over the cities trying to disrupt this podcast. In Jesus' name, amen. Look, some folk don't understand this spiritual warfare is real. Today, we have been having the hardest podcast. Every video has been freezing up. Everything's not been working. I had to use back ends of back ends. Some people say, oh, that's just technical issues. Nah, the spiritual is real, folks. Thank you for that prayer in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name. And you know, we're already 2 hours in. We're going to keep going because we got time today. I'm sorry, Avi. You know, we got to keep you over, but okay. Can we get I've got time today, Avi?
I've got time today.
Avi's got time today. Avi's got time today. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Candace is an evil virus. Whoever has her on their show get infected and they become children of. Look, if you saw the shifts that were happening in real time to Sean Ryan as he was sitting across from that woman, and the reason I can't put that video fully on here, I would love to just stream the whole thing and just go through it, is because Sean Ryan has got his content under locks. Like that, everything is copywritten in the Sean Ryan show. Maybe it's the CIA. We're just asking questions. He is former CIA. You know, who knows what that's about. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you, Avi. Shout out, Avi. So Candy is twice. Who? This is a bar, if y'all know. This is an old school ism right here. Candace is twice the child of hell. Again, look, Erica is doing her best to lead people to heaven, to the kingdom to come, into the throne room of the Most High, into the arms and the body of Yeshua HaMashiach. That's what Erica's goal and intention is. Where is Candace leading people? Where is Candace leading people? Can we bring that up? Let's see. Let's do a quick poll, Avi, of is Candace or is Scamdis Owens leading people? Where is Scamdis Owens leading people? Question mark. And the two answers are going to be to God or to Satan. That's going to be our two. So if you can get that up and we can get that going for a little bit. Got folks already answering in here. Is that ready to go? Okay. All right, folks. So we got it right here. We got it right here. Where is Scamdis Owens leading people? To God or to Satan? So say to God or to Satan. To God or to Satan. See, we already got our first one right there. Somebody, number two. Hey, what's up, Kenneth? I see you, Kenny. I see you, Kenny. You're right on point. Welcome to the chat, buddy. I don't know how long you've been here. Satan, to Satan. Thank you for following them instructions. He said two Satans. It might be two devils in there. Look, why are people saying this? It's because we've never heard the gospel leave her lips. We've never heard her. Hey, look, it's one thing to just quote scripture. It's another thing to understand scripture. It's one thing to weaponize it like she tries to do every now and then, even though she still irks when she hears it. That's why when she saw Dana up there giving an eloquent presentation of God's word, she was offended by it. The widow. What about the prego? That's what she turned it into. Satan, obviously. It should be obvious. That's right. I'm sorry, Avi, I done took away your poll. Can we bring that poll back? One more again right there. We're going to give y'all a couple more minutes to submit your answer. Where is Scamdis Owens leading people? To God or to Satan? And in the meantime, let's get a little groove going. Let's get that little jingle going. I've got time today.
Just a minute, Lord knows time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time, yeah, I got time. I got time today. I got time, yeah, I got time. With no time to waste.
Oh, right there. We want y'all answer. Where is Scamdis leading folks? Boom. Okay. So I've been looking for one person to tell me, Javier, I guess Javier left the chat. Javier, is your queen leading folks to Jesus? I feel sorry for Candace's kids. Now she is carrying around a baby while ranting about, you know what? She uses them kids as a sympathy card. That is one of the most cruel things that a narcissistic mama can do, is use her babies as fodder. This woman will pump out 100 babies if she has to in order to continue to use them as playthings, as something to hide behind, as something to place in front of her as a shield, like they do in Hamas, like they were doing in Pallywood, holding their babies in front of them. Let me see. What does this one say here? We can bring that back up. Thanks for this video, Tinashe, Javier, and others. You could tell a lot about a person by who they associate with. Candace has been friends with those people for years. Check the videos of Tate. Horrific. That we went through them today. So just in case you just got here, thank you so much, Gina. Just in case you just got here, go ahead and do a little backtracking, because we got into all of it in the last 2 hours. All of it. Candace hated Charlie. Okay, see this right here. We can go ahead and please get that poll off there. Thank you, Avi. So Candace hated Charlie because Candace hated Charlie because she could no longer have access to him. She had a narcissistic wound. The narcissist cannot stand when you cut their high and dry behinds out of your life. The moment they realize they no longer have access to you, that you have figured out their game, they will spend the rest of their natural born lives until they find another. Of course, you know, once they find another target, they'll probably give them all that sort of smoke. But until then, you're going to be the center. You're going to be the focus, and they'll do everything they can to destroy you. And Charlie understood some of this. That's why he made sure not to inflame the already existing dragon and let her spit fire. But that unfortunately didn't help anybody, because now Erica is left having to deal with the ramifications of this evil. And now you got folks like Javier in here accusing her going off of Candace's scams. Candace is too, what is that? Obsessed. Oh, that's a different way. Obsessed, not obsessed. Upset. She's up with her cest. She's obsessed with him, of course. She never loved that man. She loved what he represented for her. Yes, Tinashe, how dare they not want? She needs worship. The ultimate and first sin that is recorded in all of Scripture is that of self-worship. Watch Stefan on Can You Fax Me? He has receipts on Candace from years ago. I know there are folks out here who have made it a full-time job now to get into this, and it was eventual, right? We've been here early on it, early in the morning, year and some change ago. Incest is another lovely word to describe. Oh, incest. Okay, I saw up. Okay, incest is a lovely word for Lil Yeasty. Kenneth, that's a wild one. Okay. All right. So look, we're going to wrap up right now. So if y'all got any last minute, last moment comments, etc., please get them in. We got some saved over here that I want to read through. Oh, I pray to God I can read through all these. There's about 57. So let's see if we can get through these. I appreciate y'all for, being here and tuning in and enduring this process, because I know that we have had some technical issues, but that's perfectly fine. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, period. Okay, is that number one we want to go through? This says, God bless you and anyone who fights against darkness in these days. That evils with big mics try to erase the clear lines between right and wrong. Those who defend this devil are more dangerous than him. Facts. What has to be in you to defend somebody doing this sort of ratchetness? That means you got to have the same thing or worse in you. Evil spirits, recognize evil spirits. What we got next? She's so gross. It's not a lie. It's not a lie. The Tates are worse than Diddy and Epstein combined. I mean, look, here's the thing. We seen what Tate has said he was doing. and we seen what Diddy was doing. And I say they're both deserving of prison. And Epstein, he got his. The man is no longer here. You couldn't take it in there. Bro has been presenting himself as the epitome of masculinity, then gets caught up in the fruity outfit. Lord have mercy. Yes, Maya. What a turn of events. Can we bring up that outfit one more again? One more time. For the folks who look at this. Look at that. We got pause it right on. Boom. How you get caught up like that? What? Now I can see why Nick Fuentes would like this. It definitely makes sense why he would be into something like this. Just a whole entire Fruit Loop. Okay, next, what we got? What we got in the comments? Seriously, who could fall in love with him? Yeah, I mean, he claims that he makes these women fall in love with him, i.e., he tricks them, uses certain psychological manipulation tactics on very vulnerable people to get what he wants out of them. And look, there's grown folks who also consent to these things. That's an actual reality, but that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about how make them want to be a part of this thing, force them, coerce them. What do we got next? I think Kermit is more sexier than Tate. I mean, Kermit got something going on. It's a lot more than a Miami Vice over there. You're a weak man when you hit facts. I mean, look, if you're dealing with Layla Ali or something like that, and she's whooping on you, and you got to defend yourself, that's a different situation than you being, 6'4" and beating on a little old woman. Like you're a weakling. Who watched the video with clavicular Sneeko? Oh, I did. On my, yeah, we definitely saw that one. I know Avi saw that one. We definitely saw that one. Tinashe, you are so wise. Thank you so much, cat lady. We appreciate you. Tate has daughters. That's scary. Yeah, he has a little baby girl, at least one little baby girl, and claims to have many others. Muhammad married Aisha at 9 years old. Tate 16, but I bet they're younger also. Muhammad actually, he consummated at 9. She was actually 6 years old when he first got with her, exploited her. There's an ad for women's clothing. That's the exact outfit Andrew was arrested in. I hope it plays during this video. Clavicular is a walking steroid. I mean, yeah, well, walking a lot of things. That dude is disturbed. Their loss for unsubbing. You're one of my favorite top 5 podcasters I support. Thank you very much, para historian. Yeah, it's all good. Everybody has their choice. Oh, he's gay. Yeah, well, I cannot debate that. I bet Tate is gay also. Just they're in there. Also seeing him dance. there's a dancing Tate going around. And now I'm starting to consider it might not be fake news. Because when I first saw that arrest, I was like, that's got to be the dude who was doing the Tate impression. But nah, it's actually him dressed like Twinkle, little starlet. Okay, Red Pill is Marxist. This is true. Red Pill is Marxist style propaganda curated for the right. This is facts. It is to create this sort of discord and and dissent, and essentially to create a sentiment in young men where they feel as if they will never be enough, and therefore they start to blame the world for all their problems instead of fixing them. It's political when he chokes girls out, you guys. Oh, yeah, that's, we talk about the politics. Shout out Waffles. It's really making me mad that people are saying this is politics or political. Yeah. Yeah, that's what Fuentes was calling it. She has a beautiful voice. I was wondering who it was. Yeah, that's Wifey on our theme song. Thank you very much for that beautiful message. She'll very much appreciate it. Tate's own father was absent. His parents divorced, and his mom left the country. I didn't know about the leaving the country, but his papa was absentee and abusive when he was at home, beat the mama, beat the kids, and somehow his kids champion him. Unfortunately, sometimes the parent who's not there is the one that gets the praise, and the one who is there, it's unfortunate. Okay, Sneeko, was it Myron, Sneeko, Hassan, Tate equal jihad, all connected. Facts. I'm going to be getting into that, by the way. Deep dives into the push of Islam into America. He was the most Googled man on the planet not too long ago. Yeah, he was. I would puke too, Waffles. I would puke too. Andrew Tate, the prophet of Goyerism. The gospel according to Goy. Not Goy. Goiper, because goy is an actual positive, does not mean cattle. It means nation. What is this? Good morning. Okay, good morning degree. Is that GM degree? Oh, gay maxing. Avi, you didn't set it off. Gay maxing degree. He's got a triple PhD. Tate following the steps of Muhammad. Facts. Muhammad tells you it's okay. How to be a predator 101. That was crazy. That was absolutely wild. What else we got in there? Tate's voice turns my stomach, and he's arrogant. He's incriminating himself. What an idiot. Now, let's say, okay, we got some live ones right now. If we can jump to those real quick, just so we wrap up, make sure we don't miss anything, and then we can head up out of her. So let's go ahead live. We know who is to blame. The Jew. I mean, who do we blame? Who's to blame for everything that we don't want to take accountability for? Avi, who's to blame? Jew. Who again? Jew. Yeah, that's what I thought. Checks. All right, next we got Elon Musk is a similar childhood. He did not turn out like Tate. That's true. He ended up actually doing, positive things. Unfortunately, he's creating 1,000 broken households because he's got about 5 or 6 baby mamas and about 15 babies. So I would not necessarily, be along with that agenda, but at least he's not out here pimping. He's actually being a net positive when it comes to what he's building in the world. They know the gay when the chest is exposed, tight pants, no socks, and Vaseline lip. Vaseline lips is crazy. Sometimes they be chapped. I'm not gonna lie. Every now and then I gotta put a little Vaseline. I feel convicted. I'm not gonna show my chest though. We're not gonna do the chest hairs. Hey, can I find an outfit like Andrew's? How soon will Candace have the exact outfit? Yesterday. The team already is on it. That's so good. You guys are absolutely nuts. Last messages, last call. I see we got 330 folks in the chat. Shout out to all 324. Just went down as I said that. Shout out to every single person in the chat right now. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We just got laughing emoji. Shout out to you. Cackle. Tee-hee. Any last minute messages before we head up out of here? Oh, I'm sorry. I got one more video to show y'all. I'm tripping. We've got one more Tate sicko fan that we did not give his rightful due diligence. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, folks. Stay tuned for this right here, and then we'll wrap things up. Stop sharing. Ooh, Lord have mercy. All the worst people have just got to be connected to this guy. All the worst. Okay, let's go ahead and bring that up, Avi, if you can see the shared screen. We got that new little video up.
I don't have it on my side.
Okay. No worries. We got it right here. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Check this out here.
I'm totally bewildered. I come out and meet you. If I step 1 foot over this line, it's back to jail. Tucker Carlson. Tucker, a pleasure. Tristan Tate.
It's so nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too,
what a
man.
trip
I'm
this
a huge admirer.
I mean, yeah, he's a pimp, but I mean, what is a pimp? I mean, the Jews created pimping, right? I mean, what is pimp? I don't even know what it is. Look at this dude simping for the pimping.
Over this line, it's back to jail. Tucker Carlson. Tucker, a pleasure.
Tucker Carlson.
It's so nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too,
what a
man.
trip
I'm
this
a huge admirer.
Man. This is like.
You're the famous one, bro. You're the famous one. Not me.
I've never been starstruck in my life. But, I'm here. I am.
Hey, Tucker Carlson. Nice to meet you. Are you American?
Wasn't he supposed to tell him inshallah or something like that? Inshallah? Ninshallah? Why is Mr. Tinashe gave a lot of power to Miss Candace Owens? Why? What is this? Why is Mr. Tinashe gave a lot of power? What up, Arturo? I don't necessarily know what that means in this podcast stream, because she's the one who has been perpetuating this man's name. She's been simping for the pimping, just like our man over here, Cackling Carlson. That's our new one. We got Cackling Carlson. That's a oh, Lord have mercy. Demons activate.
You're the famous one, bro. You're the famous
Yeah.
one. Not me.
I've never been starstruck in my life, but you know, here I am.
Hey, Tucker Carlson. Nice to meet you. Are you American?
Yes, very.
What are you doing here?
I got a couple friends. You know, one flew over across the world to go to jail.
Yeah.
I've never seen the Tate brothers so happy to see somebody.
I'm totally bewildered.
I come out and meet you. If I step 1 foot over this line, it's back to jail.
Tucker Carlson.
Tucker, a pleasure. Tristan Tate.
It's so
Real
nice to meet you.
Great to meet you too,
What a
man.
trip
I'm
this
a huge admirer.
This is like.
You're the famous one, bro. You're the famous
Yeah.
one. Not me.
I've never been starstruck in my life, but you know, here I am.
Hey, Tucker Carlson. Nice to meet you. Are you American?
Yes, very.
What are you doing here?
I got a couple friends. You know, one flew over across the world to go to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, prison. What is prison? What is jail? I mean, what is a crime? What is criminality? I mean, it's a fact that he's innocent. It's a fact. Everybody knows it's a fact. Cackling, Carlson. That cackle, Tucker doesn't demand. That's his fluent language, his laugh language. You know, like they got a love language. His fluent laugh language is cackle in demonic. He's fluent in the demonic cackles. Lily right there, gross. Oh my. That's every time I see that man, it just comes over you. I just don't even understand what it is. What is it really? I mean, what is it? I mean, his entire speech pattern is question. It's in question format. It's question, cackle, question, cackle, question, cackle, question, cackle. And in all of that is propaganda. That's basically, if you really just want to condense down what Sir Cackling Carlson does best, aka Taliban Tucker. That's what he does. Indeed, there I'm going. More people see PBD real colors. Yeah, look, yeah. Yeah. Oh, PBD. Patrick. A bunch of Bachabazi boys that would not live in Islamic countries, hypocrites. Damn. If you don't know Bachabazi, I suggest you look it up. Look it up on YouTube. Don't look it up in a place where they might actually show you too much that you can't unsee. Bachabazi is a tragedy in the Muslim world. Young boys being exploited. I mean, Tate might not mind. It's a business structure, and he also gets to live out his true fantasies. Tucker Carlson has proven that he is not a real journalist. Of course. Oh, real journalist, not a real man. Yep. We're going to double up on that one. So, folks, look, we are wrapping up. We literally have, we're doing things we've never done before. We've gone past the 2-hour mark, but we just had so much fun here. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing up. I know you don't have to. You know, you don't owe me or anybody else anything, let alone to show up and have time today. And so I pray that beyond all else, that you get some sort of value from what we're doing here. You know, that's the intention that we set from the onset. That's what we pray into. And so for it to be that is a beautiful thing. So thank you guys so much. We see some last minute messages pouring in. You know, we know we got some last minute folk. Oh, we can play that. We can round that in.
Time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time, yeah, I got time. Got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
With no time to waste.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
Got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
I got time today.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you like what you see, go ahead and click that little subscribe button wherever it is currently located. And if you love what you see, don't be shy and go ahead and give a little something over there at the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. Till the next time.
I can't waste a minute, Lord knows. Time today, so I'm in it all. Time for pretending, no. Got time,
I got time, yeah, I got time.
got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
With no time to waste.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
Got time today.
I got time, yeah, I got time.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you like what you see, go ahead and click that little subscribe.